Alright, here we go again with another video clip, basically being brief and not trying to get, get too deep into it, but, just to share a perspective. And in this one here is called mainstream thinking versus faith. Now, when it comes to mainstream thinking is a system in which a lot of people believe on one accord. People are all going in the same direction as far as the way they think. People are all going in the same direction as their perspective. And of course, this is what the media wants. The media wants people to be mainstream thinking, because if you listen to the word mainstream, or the two words, mainstream. So it is a stream, of course. So a stream, when you think of a stream, you think of a river flowing in a certain direction. So if everybody's thoughts and perspectives are all flowing in the same direction, that means that they can control the current or which way the direction goes. So as long as people thinking on one accord and seeing on one accord, then that's mainstream thinking. And as long as they can control the currents, they can control the direction of the flow, meaning the direction of the way people think. So this is why I disagree with mainstream thinking, and I don't think mainstream. I think outside the box. And normally, people who think outside the system of mainstream, people who not flowing down the same stream, as considered crazy, considered not normal. So, in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, it says, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Notice that it compares faith to a substance. It said faith is the substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. So if faith is a substance, that means that there is a juice or something that's formed inside of you that others cannot see. So you trying to get others to see from your perspective and see what you believe, and you can't get them to see, because it is a substance, and that substance is inside of you, not them. And it says the evidence of things not seen. So you speaking of things that people never heard before, or you talking about accomplishing something that a person thinks is not possible because they never seen it achieved before. So by them never seeing it being achieved before, they of course be skeptical or look at you as crazy. But that goes back to the substance. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. And the things that you hope for or you greatly believe is in you. The substance is in you and not in them. It goes back to that old myth or story about the New York Yankees baseball stadium. If you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. There was the substance inside the owner of the stadium, or the one who built the stadium. There was the substance on the inside of him saying, if I build it, they will come. Now, of course, I'm sure he mentioned to others about building his baseball stadium. Others, I'm sure, assumed he was crazy and out of his mind because they was thinking mainstream. And because the creator of the New York Yankees baseball stadium wasn't on the same stream or the same flow, that's why they consider him crazy, or that's not going to happen, that's not possible. But by him acting off, if you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come, it ended up happening because he acted off the substance of what he hoped for. And he showed to the people who doubted and didn't believe him the evidence of what was not seen in their eyes. It was seen in his eyes and his vision, but it wasn't seen in theirs. So that substance that he had on the inside that was not visible, was not brought into reality. He brought it into reality through the evidence of his achievement. So the evidence of things not seen, the evidence is through our actions. That is the evidence to prove to people that I believe this can happen. I believe this is true. Or I received a revelation about this. And I'm giving you facts and undeniable evidence or whatever the case. So a lot of people have this majority rules mentality. If the majority says that it's this way, it's that way. If the majority believes a person to be a certain way, they are that way. The same tactic was used against Jesus Christ. Satan, of course, using that majority rules. You had the high priest that was considered the leaders amongst the Jews, that was starting to gather in a majority, going against Christ. So because the people saw that the leaders was going against him, they assumed that apparently Christ was an evil person or Christ was a criminal because they was painting him as a criminal. A lot of people who didn't know Christ left and right was going off the majority. So that's what caused the riot or the angry mob against Christ to increase, because the majority was going against Christ, and people that didn't know Christ assumed that they must have some valid reason or explanation why they want him crucified. So the rest jumping in. So that tactic of the majority rules mentality is still used today with celebrities and others. Not people who not considered celebrities, but also people who consider just normal average beings or normal average people. The majority. The majority as far as the media or the so-called Illuminati coming against Michael Jackson. The majority of media Illuminati coming against Eddie Long. The majority coming against those who refuse to be a peon or a puppet of this world. So if you refuse to be a peon and a puppet of this world, and you put in a spotlight as a celebrity, that's when the majority gonna rise against you. To this day, the Republicans or people in the Senate believe that the majority rules. Even though it could be a select few people that's right and makes sense, because the majority thinks this person don't make sense, people gonna more than likely go with the majority instead of the minority. But yet, the minority of this country, 20% of the people make up 80% of the wealth. So people go for the minority in this case who make up the wealth, but they won't go for the minority who has logic and makes sense, and who is considered to be rational. So I just thought I'd bring these points up about mainstream thinking versus faith. Faith is a lot greater than mainstream thinking. Mainstream thinking is a system. It is a system where we like drones or robots all going in the same direction, all thinking the same way. Like drones or robots. And who wants to be a drone or a robot? What kind of freedom or lifestyle is that if we all think in the same way? This what makes this country so interesting, and this what makes this world so interesting. Because seeing these different inventions, different cultures, different ideas, this what gives this world and also this country such a great thrill. And the reason you got so many foreigners coming to America, because America is like a carnival. It's like a carnival to many people. It has different attractions. So by having so many different attractions, different cultures, different lifestyles, different people, that's why so many people come in here, because it's like a carnival. But if everybody was thinking the same thing, all living the same way, acting the same way, it wouldn't be much of a thrill, would it? It'd be boring. Because everybody living like, I don't know, the Who's up in Whoville. on a Grinch or something, or just like The Sims or the video game The Sims. We all living this ordinary life, all the same, or like on Beetlejuice, not Beetlejuice, but Edward Scissorhands. Sorry, yeah, Edward Scissorhands. On that movie where they all had the same color car, same color house, everybody living the same lifestyle, like a drone, like a robot. Everybody programmed the same way. So if you have faith in what you believe in, if you strongly believe that you can achieve something, or you didn't receive revelation about something to be true, of course, don't get discouraged. Don't let nobody try to talk you into thinking you crazy, because they use the same tactic on Christ. Christ, let them know I'm the Son of God, I'm the Savior, I'm the Messiah. Oh, he's speaking blasphemy. Oh, Christ crazy. He didn't know what he was talking about, etc. Even the apostles thought the same thing about Christ until they had received that same substance that Christ had. Once they received the same substance that Christ had, which was the same faith and the same spirit, then they was able to see from Christ's perspectives. Then they was able to understand where he was coming from with his parables. But because Christ had the substance and they didn't, it was a lot of question marks over their head. Huh? What? Huh? But once they gained that faith, and at the day of Pentecost they gained that spirit that he had, just as well as that faith, then they was able to do miracles like him. They was able to teach parables like him, or share parables like him. They was able to be more like him and understand him more. So just because a person thinks outside of the box does not necessarily mean they're crazy. Maybe that person that's thinking outside of the box is much more advanced than you are. And I'm not speaking to the general public. I'm saying those who believe that way, who think that those who don't think mainstream is considered somewhat crazy. But this person is thinking on a high level. This person is not thinking according to the system of things. This person is thinking outside of the system of society. This person is rowing in their own direction. They're not rowing according to which way the current pulls them. They're going in the direction they want to go. Because a lot of people on this mainstream thinking that's going in the direction that the current is pulling them, that current is finna lead them to a waterfall. And all of them finna go towards their destruction. So I advise you folks to beware of mainstream thinking, because it can lead you to that waterfall, and you will be before your destruction. So this is why it's good to have great faith and act off your faith, because the juice is in you, the substance is in you. And in order to prove or show evidence of what you are saying to be true, that's when our actions step in, because faith without works is dead. Now, there's some things that we can't prove ourselves to be true to others. It's some things that the Father proves for us to be true. Like when a prophet spoke and they tried to warn the people and prepare them for what's to come. And a lot of the people doubted the prophets. So therefore, the prophets sit back and they lay back and let the Father do his work just as well as Big Brother. They let them do their work to show the people that what his messengers was saying was true. So that's why he was like, okay, since they don't believe, then I'm going to just fall back. And they finna get ready to see for themselves. Because the Father going to always back his words. Christ going to always back his words. And the reason they going to always back their words, so you would know it's not a lie. Because if something is spoken or taught and it does not take effect, or there's nothing to back up what was said, then people going to think it's a lie. But whenever God's words are spoken, whenever the truth is spoken, because he is the owner of truth, he is going to always back up truth. And Christ is the truth as well. So whenever the truth is spoken, he's going to always back it up to make sure whoever is spoken to would know it's not a lie. But when a lie is spoken, he's not going to back up a lie. He's just going to fall back and let that lie reveal itself to that person who it was spoken to. But the truth, that's when he going to come in and he going to water those seeds, because truth to the Father are seeds. So when he sees seeds of truth being planted in people, he going to make sure those seeds get nourished. He going to make sure those seeds get fertilized so they can grow and they can bloom. So if he see a person is allowing seeds to be planted into their heart, seeds of truth, seeds of righteousness, then he's not going to let those seeds just go null and void. He's going to water those seeds. He's going to bring light to them, or he's either going to bring rain. The light he brings to those seeds is those who take heed to what's being spoken. The rain he brings to those seeds are those who ignore what's being spoken and what's being taught. But either way, the rain or the sunlight, this seed is still going to grow. People either going to grow from being depressed or being down and out, or people either going to grow from taking heed to wise advice or knowledge when being given to them, and grow from taking heed to it in happiness and joy that they did take heed to it. So, anywho, just thought I'd share about mainstream thinking versus faith, because it's a lot of people with that type of thinking. The majority rules. And that's something to be very careful of, folks. Very careful of. Because those of us who think out of faith and walk by faith and not by sight, as many people in this world are walking by sight. Seeing is believing to most. Hearing is believing to some. So, because we in a world or a society like that, those who doubt the ones who walking by faith, once that person proves it or they see for themselves that that person is right, you normally get the frown. You walk in the midst of people, the same people that labeled you as crazy or that person don't know what they talking about. When God watered what was spoken to that person, or brought the light or the revelation to that person, that weren't getting what you were saying or following you, normally they, when they see you, they head down, they can't look you in the eye, or they'll come in and speak to everybody else but you. And you like, okay, what in the world is about? But I mean, life goes on, you still happy, you just wondering, yesterday they spoke, they fraternized with me, now today or two, now they ain't having two words to say to me because of their guilt, their shame, their humiliation that has taken place. That's why. It's like, I label this person crazy, ignorant, blah, 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 they don't know what they're talking about, but now they done came into the light and it has been made known to them that you do know what you're talking about, you are wise, and they just not there yet. That's when that shame and don't want to socialize with you for a day or two, sometimes a week, until they can get over that humiliation and shame of not listening. So, follow me, bro. Wow. I was saying follow me, brother, like I was praying. But, anywho, like I said, just wanted to share this and just take my time, make sure I don't leave nothing out. But, yeah, avoid mainstream thinking, folks. Avoid at all costs. You don't want to be caught up in a system where you can be easily brainwashed and be led to drink cyanide like a Jim Jones case. Because you thinking, since the majority say that's what it is, that's what it is. And that's what the media is feeding off of. The media knows if a majority of people believe this, a lot of people are going to follow the majority, the same way they did with Christ. Well, Satan causing the majority to rise against Christ, and you see that trend continues. Just like causing the majority of the people to hate Muslims. So get the majority to back you, and then we can do as we want towards those people. Regardless if they're innocent or not, as long as we have the support of the majority, we can do as we please. Leaving it at that, and as always, peace be unto you in Christ for life.